Yep. What's going on, guys? E-Drone here, and I haven't made a video in a little while, and I've been busy, definitely busy, and I've been doing a lot of research and a lot of learning a lot of new things as far as droning is concerned. And now comes to my next part, like what's going to be next. So in my previous videos, you know, I said that I was going to go ahead and convert the Wizard X220 to 4-cell, which here's my 4-cell battery right here. Shout out to Thunder Power RC. They make a really nice product. So this is the Adrenaline Series 80C. I believe this is a, let's say, 1300 milliamp. So this is a 1300 milliamp 80C 4-cell battery. I went ahead and got the 4-cell, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought about, you know, what it was going to take to put the Wizard into 4-cell. I've been back and forth, and I've kind of been conflicting. So the Wizard out of the box is set up for 3-cell, okay? It has 20 amp BL Heli E-Sheen ESCs, and in order to set this Wizard up for 4-cell, you have to take it apart, and you have to desolder the power wire that is set up on the 5-volt lead. I'm sorry, yes, the 5-volt lead. You have to set that lead up to 12 volt in order to convert this to 4-cell. So that would require taking the Wizard, you know, completely apart. You know, having to desolder and resolder, and the more I thought to it, I'm like, you know, that's a lot of work to convert this to 4-cell. So I thought to myself, you know, do I really want to get in and taking this thing apart just to go to 4-cell? I definitely want to run 4-cell. You know, 3-cell is nice to learn on, but now I'm getting to the point where, you know, I want to go faster. I want to have more. I want to have more power. You know, do those power loops and you know, fly up in the air and do flips and tricks and stuff. I just need more power. So what I decided, guys, is, you know, I'm going to leave the Wizard just like it is in 3-cell. So the Wizard is not going to be getting 4-cell. So we're going to move the Wizard on out of the way here because it is not going to be getting 4-cell, and say hello to my next project, guys. This is my new frame, the Martian 2, the 220 size, so it's the same size as the Wizard, but this thing has 4mm arms, I mean thick arms. So I thought to myself, if I want to have to take the Wizard apart anyway and desolder and resolder to get it set up for 4-cell, if I'm going to go through all that trouble, I might as well just go ahead and build my own drone from the ground up, be able to choose all the parts that I want, and be able to use the components that I want to use versus one that's ready to fly where you just kind of get what you get. So that is going to be my next series, guys. We are going to build a drone from scratch, and we're going to walk you through step by step everything I've learned, and I'm going to put it to the test, and we're going to put everything together, and I'm going to do it in a series. So we'll have, you know, series 1, which will be this video, which will be the frame, and then we'll have, you know, other series for, you know, the motors and the ESCs and everything else. It's just too much to put in one video. So I hope you guys are excited. I know I am. This is my first drone build that I've ever built, and the goal of this, guys, is to get decent quality parts at an affordable price. That's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to get decent quality parts at an affordable price. I don't want to get complete and utter crap. I want to get, you know, decent parts, but obviously not Rotor Riot, you know, priced parts, which are just ridiculously priced. So let's go ahead and dive into this box and see exactly what comes with this frame. So if you haven't already heard or know of the Martian 2, this is basically a clone of the Alien frame, which is made famous by the Rotor Riot team. So this frame obviously is not the Alien, and it costs, wow, probably like a quarter of the price, if not a little bit less than the Alien. So this is the Ready to Sky Martian 2 220. So packaging's not bad. They actually have it labeled, which I like, and it has Ready to Sky there. So, you know, not bad for a cheap, you know, a cheaper clone packaging. Okay, diving into the box, get our presentation here. So as you can see, we have our purple standoffs, which is kind of looks like the wizard there. So you get a bag of these standoffs, and it also has the risers, or what do you want to call them? The spacers to space your tower that you're going to build. So that's nice. Put that off to the side. And a little bit of the bag history of the Martian. Yes, it is a cheap frame. However, it's incredibly durable from every review I've seen. It's definitely a tough frame. It's tried and tested. A lot of people have built quads with this particular frame, and it's been able to stand the test of time. And it does have a good structure build to it. So it's nice that they actually give you these little landing feet here, just like they did with the Wizard. So you get some little landing feet there. Okay. Diving in a little bit further, here is our PDB. Now this is PDB for you beginners and newbies like myself. Stands for Power Distribution Board. So this basically channels all the power from the battery to all your ESCs and to your flight controller and your cameras and so on and so forth. This PDB is the one that comes with it, and it is bare bones basic. So this PDB has absolutely no filters, nothing to cancel out noise, which you will get from running motors and ESCs and high power electronics when it comes to having video transmitters and receivers and all kinds of electronics on board. You really need to have a filtered PDB. So for that reason, this is a very, very cheap PDB. It's not bad though. I mean, it does look nice, but we're not going to be using this PDB. And I haven't decided, because I know it kind of is built on the integrity and the structure of the frame itself. I haven't decided if, I'm going to mount it anyway, just for an extra little bit of thickness to add to my frame. But if I do end up doing that, I'm probably going to flip it upside down. That way we don't have those pads facing up, and just flip it upside down and just use it basically for support for the frame for extra strength. All right, so there's the PDB. Next, we have the frame itself, and we're going to open that all up and check that out in a minute. I want to go ahead and dive in the rest of this box here. So right here, you get your hardware. You get your all your hex screws and your nuts for connecting the frame together. Here's another bag of hex bolts as well. So there's the hardware there. Not bad looking. It's definitely packaged nicely. And then right here at the bottom, you've got your XT60 connector here, which is not wired up. And, a lot of people, let me get the PDB, a lot of people, wire this thing up, differently. Some people wire it directly to the board, and they solder just like this, and they just, blob some solder in there. The only problem with that is, if this thing is going to be sticking off to the side of the frame, if you end up, hitting something or jarring, you take the risk of breaking this, off, and either that or breaking your PDB. So for that reason, I'm not going to be mounting the XT60, directly on the board. I'm going to solder, probably like 12 gauge wire on the XT60, and then solder the wire to my PDB, which I'm not going to be using this PDB. Like I said, once again, this is just going to be, if I do install this PDB, which it does have a little bit of weight to it, so I haven't decided if I'm going to use it in the build or not, just for extra support, because it does have a little bit of weight to it. And if I don't use this, I will lower my weight. However, I will also lower my structure. So I haven't decided just yet on that. Okay, on to the exciting part, the frame. And because of my backdrop being black, you're not going to be able to see this. So I'm just going to use the box to kind of display the pieces for you. And I gotta give it to Ready to Sky, Martian. They did a very nice job packaging all this stuff. So first we have I believe this is the bottom part of the frame there, and you can kind of see the carbon fiber. I've seen some videos where the milling or the cutouts of these looking like complete and utter crap. This one doesn't look that bad. There's a couple little, you see right there, there's a couple little, oh yeah, you can see it in there. So you can see the frame, where they just roughly cut it out. There's going to be like burrs and stuff like that. So we're gonna file that down, to kind of sand that down, make it smooth so it doesn't fray or split. But you can kind of see, if I can get this thing to focus, you can kind of see how thick the frame is. Bottom part anyway. So there's the bottom part. Let's see what else we got in here. Here is the top part of the frame. Once again, let's take a look at the cutout of this. And you can't really expect too much, guys. I mean, this frame is, I was able to get it under $20 for the whole entire frame with a PDB. And that is just insane. I mean, under $20, you get a full frame. I mean, the clone, the original Alien, is like $100 or more. So when you're getting something that looks almost identical to the Alien for less than a quarter of the price, you really can't be too picky. But yeah, there's some spots on here, where it's doesn't look like the absolute greatest. But for my purposes, this build will do just fine. Okay, so next part we have the arms. Now this is one of the key features of this frame, is the extra thick arms. So these arms are 4 millimeters thick. Wow. So you can see just how thick these arms are. They are just, wow. I mean, it would take a lot of force to snap this arm. So you can see, up to the frame, the difference between the thickness of the frame and the thickness of the arm. I mean, the arm's probably, I'd say at least 3, if not 4 times as thick as the actual top and bottom plate. So that's a really good design of this frame. This is kind of what makes this frame famous, other than it looks, looks just like the Alien almost. But that's really awesome right there. So you got a nice thick arm there, and that's going to give us a ton of strength and crashes. So we get 4 arms here. Keep on diving in. There's 1, 2, 3. Kind of slide this over. And here comes number 4. There's our 4th arm. And these actually look pretty decent. The holes are cut out. Sorry about the focus. The holes don't look bad. They actually look, semi-smooth. Not bad, I mean, for the price. So, very impressed so far. Like I said, you can't really ask for a whole bunch when, you're getting this for a way cheaper price than the actual Alien itself. All right, so we got some other pieces in here. This piece right here goes under the PDB, and you can see it's not very thick, and that is why I don't know if this piece is going to be enough to hold the frame in a crash. That's kind of why I probably am going to use this PDB as well, for the structure of it, because you see the thickness of this. This plate here actually just creates a a space between the carbon fiber frame and your power board, because carbon fiber is conductive. So you need to have, this plate in between the carbon fiber frame and your power distribution board. So when you put these two together, you can see just how much thicker it is. So like I said, I'm probably going to be using this PDB, if nothing else, just for, frame, to help with the frame stability. And then I'll put my other PDB on top of this. So that's a nice little feature they give you here, because carbon fiber, if you didn't know, is conductive. You need to have a barrier between the carbon fiber and any kind of electronics or any kind of power. So that's why, even on the ESCs, you have to, either have double-sided tape or heat shrink or something to separate the ESC from the carbon fiber itself. Okay, moving on, we have our camera mount pieces here, and that's another feature of this drone that I really like about the camera is it has fixed position. So it has 3 positions right here, and when your camera is in there and you actually mount it in, it's not going to move once you get your position fixed. So, once you pick the angle that you need for your camera, it's going to lock into one of these 3 positions for your angle, and it's not going to move. So, unlike my Wizard, when I, sometimes when I crash, or, just picking it up, sometimes the screws will come loose and then your angle changes. This frame right here, it's not going to come loose. It's locked into place, so that's good. Your camera will be protected and your angle will stay the same. Okay, right here we have a protective piece that goes over the flight controller, I believe. I'm not sure if I'm going to use this or not, since it is carbon fiber. I don't want to keep that really close to my electronics. And this piece here is a little bit of rear stability also for your FPV antenna to feed through. So this will go on the rear of the frame. And they don't give you any instructions in this kit on how to put it together. But there's a ton of instructions online if you just go to Google and type in Martian 2 frame build instructions. There's a ton of information out there for this frame. So there's everything you get in the box. There's a little bird's eye view of that. You get your frame, your hardware, your XT60, and yeah. So I got my 4-cell battery. So we're going to build this thing, and we're going to do, different parts. So this will be part 1 of the frame. And here's our 4-cell battery. And we're going to go ahead and assemble this frame enough to mount our PDB whenever it comes in. And we're going to do that in 3, 2, 1. Boom! There it is, guys. So we got the frame put together, and I gotta say, it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. The screws did go through rather easily. So if you'll notice, I went ahead and I placed my PDB upside down, because I am not going to be using this for power. It is just going to be to give it that added stability. And then you can see how much thickness it adds right there. If it'll focus. Not trying to focus. Focus. There we go. So you can see how much thickness that adds. And a little trick or a hint when putting this together, you want to start with your outside screws first. So you put your arms in here. You put your PDB and your separation plate right here, and then you go ahead and you do your 4 outside screws first, and then take your nuts and just finger tighten them up by finger, all 4 of those. Once you have those 4 in there, then you can go ahead and work on these 4 inside screws, get them to line up and get the rest of your arms in. And then you can do these 4 standoff screws. So all the screws besides these standoff screws go from top down. The 4 standoff screws go from bottom up, and that's going to be where we're going to mount, where you would mount your flight controller if you were using this PDB. However, I am using a separate PDB that's filtered and all that, so we're going to be mounting our new PDB on top of here, then our flight controller. Then I have one more surprise that hopefully will fit. My biggest fear is that my stack that I'm going to make for this drone is not going to fit. And if it doesn't fit, then I'm going to have to take it back apart and I'm going to have to remove this PDB. But hopefully we'll have enough room to make everything fit the way I want to. And we will be able to make this stack the way it needs to be made. So let's do a little comparison here. Frame for frame, you can see the Wizard here is on the right, my Martian 2's here on the left, and you can see they're just about the same size. 220 millimeters is the size from motor to motor, or arm to arm. So 220 millimeters, so you can see that they are basically the same size. One is a 3S little monster here, and this one is going to be a 4-cell beast. This thing is going to absolutely rip. You can see the strength of this thing. So the arms are sandwiched in between this bottom plate and the PDB and the protective separation plate right there. So it's a very good design. It's very incredibly sturdy. Let's look at a difference between the Martian arms and the Wizard arms. So the Wizard arms are actually pretty thick as well. They might even be the same. Yeah, you can see right there if it focuses. So the arms are about the same actually on the Wizard, and the Wizard is known for being incredibly durable and strong. So I don't see where the Martian is going to be any different. So thanks for watching, guys. This is my part 1 of my new build. Stay tuned. We're going to have many other parts as the parts come in. And I'll leave a link down in the description below for this frame. And each video after, I will leave a link down in the description for all the other parts. I'll also leave a link for this battery down in the description as well. As always, thanks for watching. Until next time. E-Drone out.